Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TopLofty Lounge, episode 86 Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome to all my fellow snobs. I am your host, Science Fiction Snob. And this week on the program, hey, it's movie night again, Cam's favorite show of all our types of shows. And tonight we're talking about the hit Damnation Alley. Heads up, Cam hated this one. But before we get into that, let's introduce my hateful co-host. He is the Deckard to my Tanner. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everyone. In my year of honesty, of increased honesty, 2026, I am unable to tell a lie of any kind. And yes, this movie sucked.
Cam did not like the movie. Well, you know, Cam, you'll never be a good studio exec because I got some stories in the background of this movie in my research that I came across, and it is interesting stuff.
Well, I don't know. I would have rejected this movie, so I'm thinking maybe I would have been a good studio exec.
I almost broke out laughing when I some of the background that happened. Well, you guys might find it funny. Well, we'll get into it. Yeah. We'll get into it. All right. But first.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Well, Cam, what did you do this week to increase your snobbery? We have to talk because we're waiting for people to come in. They're sliding in. The YouTubes is popping off and going, hey, come and watch the show. You know, so we got to give people a little time to get in, you know, first 5 to 10 minutes. So
Sure. Well, first, let me note that according to the YouTubes here, you are at 674 subscribers, which is an all-time high for the Sci-Fi Snob channel.
Oh my goodness!
So that's
true.
Yes, that's a substantial growth for you. Of course, we would always like more. So please do be kind, everyone. What's that buzzing noise?
That's the in the bunker. That is the alarm going off for nuclear attack on its way. No, that's the dryer.
Okay. I can't wait till we hear that. Get a visit from your cat.
The cat has been. The cat now feels much more comfortable upstairs.
Oh,
and it doesn't come down and yelp as much. It hangs around. It's sleeping upstairs. It's not scared. It was scared of the other cats, and it was like, so it would come down. I think, and we'll see though. Maybe it'll come down. Okay. But I forgot to get pictures. I got it. Oh, I'm gonna have to get pictures.
Yeah, instead of the birds, maybe get the cat on.
I'll show you. Oh, that's true. But we haven't seen the birds in a long time. I keep forgetting.
To answer your question, though, about what I did to increase my sci-fi knowledge is, I mean, strangely enough, even though I'm fully immersed in Babylon 5. Okay, well, first of all, I watched Babylon 5, The Road Home, the animated Babylon 5.
Oh, it's not fair.
Because
I'm not allowed to watch that.
Right, I've seen the whole series, so I can't be spoiled. And I enjoyed it. It was, it's a certain style of animation. It's, I'm trying to remember what else I've seen that in. But it's kind of a modern animation style. Some of the stuff looked great, especially the what would be special effects shots. You know, like the exteriors and the ships and things like that. Those look really good. The animation style for the people, they look good. You know, the models look good and everything, but they're a little the animation style is a little stiff.
Yeah,
but not bad. And of course, many of the cast members who are still with us reprise their roles, including Peter Jurasik, Bruce Boxleitner, and others. And then, of course, they had a lot of people that were, new people doing, voices for those cast members who are passed away.
Yes.
But it was pretty good. And I don't want to say anything else about it because it is kind of a huge deal. That's all I'll say about it. But
I don't know, but I'm like, curious to watch it. I have it. You know what? I have it on my PVR. It's been on there for about 2 years because I noticed it was on, and I'm like, hey, I should copy this. And I copied it. Wait, I can't watch it.
Yeah, do not watch it. Do not watch it.
I'm sitting there. So.
Anyway, but despite being immersed in Babylon 5, I've also been really getting into Star Trek lately. So I watched, I mentioned last week, I think that I watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yeah, that's right.
and I had, of course, watched Star Trek Continues, which we talked about a little bit last week.
Right.
And this week I watched Star Trek Wrath of Khan, which is many people's favorite, of course.
Yes. Great movie.
Great movie. Remains
I like
great.
First Contact as well, but
I
those
did
two are probably my favorites. I thought First Contact, constant action, pretty, interspace with the stuff on the ground. Well done. But anyway, yes, Wrath of Khan, very good as well.
But we had some discussions offline about looking into some Star Trek games that we might play at some point. But
Yes.
I've also
we can mention a little more detail to that if you want.
Okay, it's basically okay. So there's a game from way back called Starfleet Battles, which apparently is still officially being published today. That the company that's got it it's Armadillo Games. It's Armadillo something, or no, Armadillo Design Studio is what it is, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they're still publishing it. If you look at their website, it looks like something from about 1996. So I'm not sure what they're actually publishing, and they're like, oh, I was asking Grok about this, right? Which I use as a search engine many times for a quick jump, and it's like, oh, they have active forums and things. Like, yeah, they do. There's about one post there this year, so it doesn't seem too active.
Yeah, that's not very.
But I'm sure there are people that still play the game, Starfleet Battles, and this goes back to original series stuff. And so I'm curious about that. I like war games things. I'm sure it is a dated game, but they did have a lot of expansions for it and things for many, many years. And so I guess I wouldn't say it's completely dead, but it's kind of old, getting up there in years. But I'm curious about it because I've never played it. But in addition to that, and I was looking at Tabletop Simulator, and we had some discussions about that. And I don't understand everything about this game by a long shot, but there are a few different versions it's like the first one was very laborious, and then they had a newer, I'm talking probably the 80s, version called Federation Commander, which was, kind of a streamlined version of it. And so I've kind of looked into that, and I did get something loaded up in Tabletop Simulator. I never used Tabletop Simulator, but that's a whole nother story. But in addition to that, I have this whole stack of magazines. It's starting in like 1999 or whatever, called Star Trek Magazine, which, unlike many things, it's like, oh, it's Starlog or something that's kind of this one is like got a ton of content in it, so if you're a fan of the Star Trek technical manual, that kind of thing, it's got all that kind of in-universe stuff, so it's like, okay, we're going to talk about phasers and how phasers work, or communication systems, and it's just chock full of that stuff. They have interviews and things as well, and stuff about productions and everything. And I don't know, there's I'm just kind of guessing. There's probably 35 to 40 issues of this, and I got them all these years ago, and kind of scanned through them when I bought them, but I wasn't deep into it. Anyway, I'm kind of enjoying going through those little by little. Just a wealth of information for the TNG through Voyager era, and they do older stuff too. But it's obviously not new Trek stuff, which I have no interest in. So it's kind of perfect for me.
Yeah. We're going to look at that and see if we can get it to work. So let me just address the chat. Yes, Wrath of Khan, Undiscovered Country, First Contact, good. Yes, good. Well, it's shown pretty good. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes, Outpost Nerd, post your questions, because you're really just screwing Jeff, because Jeff is the one collecting all the audience viewer questions, and he's getting them all together. If you wait longer, just make it harder for him, more work for him in the last minute. So yeah, post them quick. And Dave, just to let you know, I saw your questions in the comments from last week's show, and I reposted them onto the Discord where Jeff is collecting them all. So yeah, there's some pretty good questions there. You got 6 of them. Some pretty good questions. I'm interested in the answers to some of those as well. Yeah, okay. I think I think everything I got for everything that came out just there. Okay, great. Yeah, Cam wants to beat me at Starfleet Battles. I think we should start with an easier one. Tabletop Simulator is it's not super user friendly. They do the best they can, but whenever you have a program everybody's got to put anything in there, and it comes out, it's got to work with everything. It can be kind of clunky and difficult. But some of them are really good. We'll look into it and check it out and see if we can sort it out.
Yeah, agreed. Can I mention something? A person mentioned Star Trek Generations, and in some way, I liked it. I didn't hate it. Let me put it that way. But the one thing that I could never get over is that the movie was that one of the primary writers was Ron Moore, who was a writer.
Yeah, he's Ron Moore. He's like,
well, right, and pretty good, right? I think he has a good reputation. Battlestar Galactica, the new Battlestar Galactica, and he also wrote on Deep Space Nine and some TNG stuff. He got his start on TNG. Well, he wrote the episode of TNG Relics, which was where Scotty showed up. They found Scotty and da 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 da.
Right.
And he in that episode, Scotty mentioned that he's when they were rescuing her, whatever, they mentioned the Enterprise. He's like, and he talked about, Jim Kirk got out the Enterprise and kind of came and rescued me, kind of thing. And it's like, and then Ron Moore later wrote Generations, which explicitly had a scene where Scotty witnessed Kirk dying, or so they thought,
getting sucked into the thing. Yeah.
Right. Well, they didn't know that, but they thought he was dead. They thought he was dead, and it's like. That's one of my pet peeves is when a writer tramples his own work. I can see when someone else tramples it. It's like, disregard or, whatever. This was just, I don't know. It just bugged me. It always pissed me off. So that kind of soured.
Yeah. They decided a certain thing that we wanted to happen. And they're like, oh, how are we going to do this?
Right.
I guess. I don't know. I give him excuses.
Yeah, he's better than that.
Dave, you're welcome. And what has Cam been saying about me? What are you talking about?
Every bad thing I say about you, I say publicly.
Oh, okay. So I know them all then.
I guess except in real life, I do badmouth you in real life to people.
Oh, right. That's true. To all your people. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. They cleared that up by saying Scotty thought Kirk would have been back alive. That seems a little bit.
I don't know how.
Got sucked off into space.
Where that would come from.
Yeah, he's probably okay. He's Kirk. He's probably good.
Nitpicking on the death of a character. Sure. Okay.
Well, for me, what did I do this week? Oh, not much. Something sci-fi related, but I'm not willing to talk about it right now. And it's not really, maybe it's not germane to this, to YouTube or anything like that. But one thing I did do was I watched and made my young daughter watch The Long Halloween. So I watched 2 parts to it is in the DVDs we have. So we watched the first part. She kind of fell asleep halfway through the second part, but I have seen the whole thing. Great story. Some of the long Batman stories where they put everything together are very good. Cam, I'm pretty impressed with the quality of writing in some of these, graphic novel long stories that they put together. That was, it was good overall. I thought. No comment. Have you seen The Long Halloween?
I have not.
Have you? Did you read it? You must have.
No,
you're not a big Batman guy.
I know I love Batman, but that's one that for whatever reason
never seen The Long Halloween.
No.
So that's the. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the Halloween. It starts on Halloween and goes for a whole year. Halloween. There's what they call the holiday killer is killing people, of part of the Maroney family, members of them, and nobody knows who it is. And of course, all the various main Batman villains turn up at various times and kind of end up all at the end as well. No one's, there's all kinds of clues and it's got to be this guy, and then that guy dies, and then maybe it's this guy and he dies, and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, good. I'm being a little facetious here. I'm sliding over it, but good. Recommend it. Great story. Okay, what am I missing? Generations was disappointing. Moore wrote a first draft, but he wasn't later drafts and caught the issue. It could be. Generations was disappointing. Had the pieces, felt like a long episode, not a film. Yeah, and they're like, we got to pass. I mean, anytime you go into a store and you want to, instead of wanting to tell a good story, you go, okay, well, we got to kill off these characters and we got to bring in the new characters and blah, blah, blah. It's usually, I mean, it was really cool to watch the Enterprise blow up at the end, but I was kind of sad about that. They're standing in the thing and it's all broken, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I guess they wanted a new one. Yeah.
As a note, apparently Ron Moore did acknowledge that and accepted it as a minor continuity problem.
Yeah. Calorman is a big part of the story. Yeah. They Batman and Gordon and his people are always going to Calendar-Man and asking him for, who's the guy? And Calendar-Man never tells him. He just sort of hints at stuff and asks questions, and which is very similar. Sort of. I mean, what do you expect? He's not going to tell you. Similar to what's her name? Silence of the Lambs, where she goes to talk to Hannibal Lecter all the time. And he just gives hints and stuff. I don't think Calendar Man actually knew during the movie who was doing it. I mean, he probably had a good idea. It's got to be somebody who's got these aspects to them, right? But he's not gonna. Oh, it's Fred from accounting. Yeah. Calendar Man is a big part. But he's in Arkham the whole time. Favorite of Q2 Madman is motion picture. Really? Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, Undiscovered Country. There was good aspects to the motion picture, but I just remember, watching the special VHS cut with 12 extra scenes, 12 extra minutes of footage, plastered all over the front as if it was a big, the greatest thing in sliced bread. And then, of course, watching it and going, that's 6 minutes more of them flying around the Enterprise because they can't use the transporters, and 6 more minutes of going through V'ger. And I was just we're watching, we're like, okay, come on. It's over. Get over with. Let's get it to the damn computer. Anyway, so that's what it kind of gives me
Probe.
Yeah, it gives me a bad taste for that movie. Oh, please get out. Like, how many psychedelic CGI do we have to see? It's been enough.
I agree. There was a lot, and
you should see it with the extra 6 minutes.
Well, I did. I did.
Did you?
I
you
think
got
the edition I have is the one with the extra. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
But at its core, though, I think it is a classic Star Trek kind of story. So
yeah,
I appreciate it.
I want to talk real quick about Star Trek Continues, because I watched the next episode. I didn't get to the fourth one. So I watched the Mirror Universe episode
with
Spock. I thought it was good. But you know what? I actually liked episode 2 with the Orions better, because I felt that was more of a classic Trek story, right? There's a moral dilemma, and Kirk is kind of being forced to do something he doesn't want to do, and doesn't think is right, and he's got to struggle with it. I mean, they kind of take the decision out of his thing by blowing up the ship.
I don't know. I think
that's classic. That's classic, that moral dilemma stuff.
I don't think so. I don't think that. I thought that it seemed kind of uncharacteristic to me.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know that there was that kind of. I mean, maybe there was at some point, but I don't remember it being like, oh, Starfleet's really forcing this issue for the reasons they were, and that
Well, it's a classic the classic moral dilemma, right? Now, in this case, though, he's getting pressure from Starfleet, which, I mean, I agree that there might not be many episodes of that, because normally he's by himself. They can do whatever the hell they want, right? Often he just does Kirk does whatever he wants. And, 6 months later when they find out about it.
That's what being a starship captain is all about, baby.
That's right. I'm way out here. They can't do nothing to me yet. 6 months from now, when they read the report, they might be pissed. What are they going to do, right? So it was different in that respect, but it was the same sort of story, but it's just that Kirk made the mistake of asking for he asked for permission instead of beg for forgiveness. But you should have known that. Yeah, but it was good though. I got to watch episode 4. I'm not sure what episode 4 is about. But 13 episodes, that's lots. I mean, I got a lot of.
I think it's only 11, isn't it?
11, maybe. Oh, yeah. Sorry, maybe it's 11. Yeah, but I got lots to watch, so yeah, it'll be good.
All right.
Yeah, they're classic though. It's just like the old stuff. I'm like, okay, well, this is Star Trek at least. Moral dilemma is next generation, not classic. classic Shrek, the Mirror Universe. Mirror is the all-time favorite of fans. Well, there's some. I mean,
yeah, PB's on my side.
Kirk has some moral. Like he's got to. Oh well, I mean, he's usually very.
I don't know. Kirk's really, kind of Kirk's cavalier about stuff, and very much so. It's like, yeah, I'm going to decide what's right, and I'm going to do this. And again,
I mean,
how many times did he break the Prime Directive?
In the sense, yeah, Prime Directive. What's that? I mean, I guess there's some truth to the fact that, I mean, it's a moral dilemma, but Kirk doesn't see a moral dilemma. He's like, no, this is the right thing to do. I don't care about that other thing. Forget decisive. That. Prime Directive, that's BS.
Well, Prime Directive.
You're right. In that case, I would agree. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, okay. Enough Star Trek.
Should we get into
enough
Star Trek? Should we get into the movie?
Yep.
Now, I saw this movie when I was a kid. I think I saw it on TV. I don't think I saw it in the theaters because I might have been too young to see it in the theaters when it first came out. But I remember watching it, I'm pretty sure on cable, and I was like, I would be interested in this movie because, I'm at that age. I'm like, post-apocalyptic, nuclear war, all that cool science fiction stuff. I'm totally into it. And if anybody, I don't know how many of our viewers grew up in the 70s and 80s, but that was the big thing, right? Nuclear war.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that we all worried about. There's all movies on that. In the 70s, it was pretty big. And then it kind of dipped a little in the late 70s because Jimmy Carter was president, and there was a little bit of thaw in the Cold War. And then Reagan in 1980 was elected. And then, boom, the Cold War gets big again. He starts talking about Star Wars and nuking the Reds and all that stuff. And so that pushed up the pressure a little bit, right?
Well, it's kind of the classic.
With me? Come on.
No. I'm not. It was a media created thing. Reagan was like, yeah, I'm going to fight the Cold War, kind of thing. It's, he was active in it. And so, of course,
he's raised tensions because he said things like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Yes, right? I understand. But what I'm saying is, it's a classic media thing to be like the person who's actually trying to fight. Oh, he's going to cause all the whatever. It's like, well, no, we're in the middle of this thing. It's like, and history has proven out who was right.
I'm a big, a big history buff, and basically, Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, and the Pope won the Cold War.
Yeah.
Basically, those three got together and they conspired and they said, hey, we're going to take down the Russians. If we do build these things, there's no way they could keep up, and it's going to crash their economy, and that'll be the end of them. So they basically, the three of them conspired.
And it worked.
Basically, roughly. And it worked. Yeah. So anyway, but you have to remember that, like, for those of you who didn't grow up in this time, like, this was a big hysteria. I mean, when Ronald Reagan, started talking about, hey, well, we're going to Star Wars, half of America went crazy and said, oh my God, they're going to be another war. They're going to kill us.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Yeah, of course. Yes. But, and those guys with the clock, right? It's never many minutes to midnight. They would be moving it closer. We're 1 minute closer to midnight. Reagan said this. Oh, we're another minute, right? I mean, I was thinking about this, and you remember the band Genesis. This was later in the 80s. But the band Genesis, they're, UK with Phil Collins, right? You remember that band?
Yeah.
Okay, so they did that. They did a music. They had a song called "Land of Confusion," and they made a video of it. They used the puppets, and in there, the puppets. There's puppets of Reagan and Nancy, and Reagan is portrayed as a bumbling fool. Talking to Nancy, he's like, "Mommy, where are my teeth?" and all this stuff. And I forget. He reaches to his nightstand. I think he put his teeth in a jar or you get a glass of water or something, and he presses the button and blows up the world. Right? Like this is the kind of thing that the media were pushing. The Doomsday Clock was what it was called. Yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing still persists to this day. It's like, it doesn't matter. Let's say you're on either side of the political spectrum. I've heard each side be like, oh, and that bumbling fool is gonna just push a button. It's like, as if it's like literally a button that he could just go, yeah, hey, bring me that. I feel like starting a war. Let me just push that. Like nobody's gonna say, no, that might not be a good idea, sir.
And no, but everyone knows, the procedure that I mean, if you have any knowledge about nuclear war and that sort of thing, everyone knows that there's this big long procedure that they have to go through, right? The football that was carried around all the time, that there was to be a colonel from the Air Force that would follow the president around during this time all the time. He'd have this case, and it's not a button that sits on his nightstand, right? I mean, and everyone knew that.
But, and of course this was satire, I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was satire. But I'm bringing it out because I'm trying to show, what the attitude of people was in those times, and I lived them, and I remember that being our biggest fear was in the 70s growing up and the 80s, mid to late 80s, nuclear war was going to happen, up until about 85 at least anyway, and then Gorbachev came in and things kind of cooled off a bit. But in the early Reagan years, especially, like it was, people were almost hysterical. Like this is going to happen. So I bring it up because I want to show that our media reflects what's kind of going on in the world, right? So that's why a lot of these apocalyptic movies, such as Damnation Alley, were popular, and the studios thought it would be popular. And I'm getting into this one. The studio felt that this one was going to be quite popular. Maybe we should get. So Cam, you want to do a quick synopsis of the movie, and then tell me what you didn't like about it. And I think I have a story almost for every point that every point you're going to say that sucked. I'm going to say, hey, there's a story about that almost.
Okay, sure.
The puppets were from a British series called Spitting Image. You're right. That was correct. That's correct.
Yep.
They use them for the video. Yeah, good. All right.
Okay, so it starts out with our two main characters. We have Lieutenant Tanner, who is Jan-Michael Vincent, and Major Denton, who is George Peppard, and they're basically reporting to their duty station, which is out in the desert somewhere. They're Air Force officers, and they work in missile command, I guess. What's the actual strategic missile? Whatever.
SAC is Strategic Air Command.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a special missile. I'm Canadian. I don't know if they have a special missile command for maybe.
I think there is.
SAC is Strategic Air Command is divided into bombers and then
whatever it is. They're the guys that go in the bunker.
They're the missile turners.
Right. Most people have seen war games, for example, where. These guys, they go down in the bunker, they check in and they do all this stuff. And that's what the opening scenes are. And George Peppard, the major, says that he's going to get the younger guy, Tanner, reassigned. He's like, yeah, we're just not a good match or something like that. And he's like, okay, well, anyway, so they come down to their duty station, and they go through the procedures, and the other guys, leave or whatever. And they go and they're like, oh, they got coffee and sandwiches or whatever. It's kind of routine. And then they start getting, they get their messages and everything. It's like, okay, there's a launch, the Soviet Union has launched on the US. And you see in the command center, you see these things on the display and everything. And so they go through the whole thing, where they unlock the box and they get the keys and they verify the message, it's like, put the keys in, and they go through the whole thing. It's like they launch, they do the retaliatory strike. And there's a whole thing about the US interceptor missiles are going up. They report, I think, 40% or something effective, and
40%.
The rest aren't. And then they start getting reports of, the East Coast being hit and everything, Boston, Philadelphia, DC.
Yeah, I never liked Boston. No offense. Boston there, but I was like, oh, Boston, yay.
I won't comment on that. But anyway, so this
is a Boston lover.
Okay, this happens, so basically Armageddon is here, right? And then they kind of skip forward in time 2 years later. And they're out in the desert still, and the military guys still seem to be running, it's like they're still in charge of this base here.
Well, not everybody.
Not
everybody's still in the military.
Oh, well, you're right. Well, let me get to it,
Sorry.
Tanner and what's the other guy's name?
I forget his name, but he's a sergeant. He was a sergeant.
He was a sergeant, was checking him in. Played by Paul Winfield, who was in Star Trek 2, oddly enough.
Yeah, exactly.
As captain on the Reliant. He was a Reliant captain. He's been in a ton of stuff, of course. He's in Terminator. You've seen him everywhere. Yeah. Anyway, though him and Tanner have basically left the service. They resigned from the service, and they're kind of living in an outbuilding, barracks or something. And we see some other guys and Denton, George Peppard and one of the other sergeants or something. They're working on something, and they mentioned that the commanding officer, the CO, I don't know if he was a general or a full colonel or something like that. Okay, it's they mentioned he just sits there all day and just drinks. It's like he's traumatized by the whole thing. But George Peppard has got something going. He's working on something. And then, there's this scene where, Tanner's like, he's got some girl on the back of his motorcycle and he's driving across the desert, and then he runs into these giant scorpions and he dumps a girl off the back, so she gets attacked by the scorpions. And
that's right. Smart.
And
carry bait wherever you go.
Keegan, right? Keegan, I think, is the sergeant, is Paul Winfield.
Yeah.
Keegan it's like, what are you doing? He like shoots, it's like takes a shot at it, like not trying to hit him really, but at Tanner, he's like, what the hell are you doing? And it turns out it was just a dummy he had on the back of his bike, so he's not a psychopath that just killed some woman. Anyway, so they long story short, they George Peppard and I forget the other guy, the other sergeant you were working with.
No, I don't think it was a sergeant. I thought he called him lieutenant.
Oh, was he a lieutenant?
Okay. At some point. And that now there's some confusion because at one point they call Tanner like he calls him at the beginning of the movie captain, but I think they refer to him as lieutenant later too. But
I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a little bit
So as they're getting ready to go on this trip, they're working on these vehicles where they can make a trip, and so then so we see some of the other soldiers that are still working here, and they have shifts they're going on or whatever, and they go through. One guy's in late or whatever, and he's like yelling at the other dude. And one guy, I forget, he's a character actor who plays the one of the guys. He's been in a ton of things, and he always kind of plays a nerdy, nervous guy or whatever. And the other airman's like pissed off because he's late or something, and he takes off. And so this guy slacking off, he's like in his bunk looking at girly magazines and smoking, and he lets he drops drops a cigarette and starts a fire, which I forget what did it go? It like hits.
Well, the room had these valves in it, and there's like big sort of things and said explosive on it. So
so good idea to smoke in there. Anyway, so he it's
sure they probably weren't allowed to smoke in there.
Right. He basically the base just blows up. I mean, it just and it's everybody's on fire, and like Tanner like runs from the other building. They're on an outbuilding, like I said, and he's running in there trying to rescue the guys, and they're just on fire. So Denton yells for him to get out of there, and they get out. Basically,
they almost rescue the general. The general's there on fire.
Oh, was it the general that was on fire?
It was the general. Yeah. Okay. He's like, leave him.
Yeah, and so basically it's just these four guys left at this point, and they have these two Landmaster armored personnel carriers that are like these weird tri-wheeled things, but basically it's like there it is in the picture. I got better pictures later too. Okay, there it is in the main picture. Yeah, they're right. And it's like two sections. It's like a front and a back, and they're kind of connected by a flexible thing. Anyway, so they're like, okay, well, we're doing the, we're heading out. We're going to Albany, because they got some kind of message. They heard a radio message from Albany, and essentially they've been, they don't hear from anybody. They're basically just out there on their own. I guess they were well supplied though, because they were still eating and so on and so forth. So I guess so. Yeah, they're like, well, Denton's basically like, well, you guys gonna come along or not? And he's like, do I have to re-enlist? He says, no, but I'm in charge. So Tanner's like, what's the difference? So anyway, they decide that they're going to go with him. Basically, they got nothing here anymore. So they head out, and also Tanner's been going on his motorcycle and checking around the area, right, for the last, who knows, months, whatever. And like he finds the mannequin. He hasn't found anything in the nearby area anyway. Right. Yeah. So the devastation is pretty bad. And we learn that apparently, because there's these weird storms and stuff, like the sky is all messed up and everything, and they have these brutal storms in it. Okay. In addition to the the radioactivity and things like that. So there's like only certain areas they can go, and that the Earth has supposedly got knocked off its axis by this by this nuclear exchange, which is probably stupid. I suppose maybe something with the with the magnetic pole could get knocked off, but I don't. Anyway, I'm not a physicist, but I don't think that that's likely.
Or a climatologist or whatever. But
Right.
but willing suspension of disbelief. Come on.
Yeah, but I could see. Well, first of all, if it was knocked off its axis, I think it would be worse than what we're seeing here. But if the magnetic pole shifted, maybe due to that. Anyway, yeah, that's neither here nor there. They take off. They start heading across.
Hold on. You got to remember, though, there's this small area that they can get through to get to Albany.
Yes.
And George Peppard has named it
Damnation Alley. Damnation Alley.
Damnation Alley. Hence the name of
They said the thing.
They said the thing, exactly. Can't cut that out.
Right. So they're trying to avoid radiation areas, which I don't know how they'd know that, given that they're whatever. So
satellites and stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't explain it.
Right. So they head out and they again, there's these two vehicles, two guys in each vehicle, basically. They head out and they first have some sort of accident due to a storm or something where they lose one of the vehicles.
Yeah, so they hit a storm, and George Peppard is sleeping, and they're supposed to stop and dig in with these vehicles and weather the storm. But, of course, Jan-Michael Vincent's being the hotshot crazy guy. He's like, I'm going to drive through it. He takes off. And the other guy, the lieutenant or whatever, who's, in with Denton, they were working on the machine together, I think, digs in, but that doesn't work. They get knocked over and he's killed.
Yeah. And so then they salvage where they can from the one vehicle, and then now they're all in one vehicle. These three guys
save Keegan,
right?
Okay.
And so then they head out and they go to Salt Lake City, where they're looking for. Are they looking for fuel? Yeah, they're looking for fuel. And so it's like they set out and they talk about gasoline. Number one, gasoline doesn't last if not specifically preserved, and even when you do that, it doesn't last
about up to 4 years. I thought that it could.
Not if not.
That's
really pushing it. That's really pushing it.
And how much would that gas how much gas would that thing use? Right?
A lot.
It's getting 2 miles to the gallon or something like that.
Well, or 2 gallons to the mile.
Yeah, something like that. I wish they had made it like they said there was a mini nuclear reactor in it or something. Then I would have bought that. Maybe.
But then they wouldn't have to stop in Salt Lake City, which they do.
But they could stop for supplies or something, right?
Yeah, and so they stop in Salt Lake City and they're trying to get fuel, and they notice it's like there's like skeletons around and they're like picked clean and everything, and it's like and there's other stuff too. It's like
hold on. They go to you're missing it. They go to Vegas first.
No.
Because they.
You're right. They do.
You're the girl in Vegas.
You're right. You're right. Yes. So they go They go to Vegas, which is still lit for some reason, presumably by the Hoover Dam, I guess.
Yes.
And they go in there and they're messing around with all the slot machines and everything, and into Circus. And then some chick shows up. She's like, "Hey!" and she like runs down there and hugs him. Yeah, and she's then she explains, "Oh, she was here," and they the guy from the casino took her down to the bomb shelter to show off or whatever. I don't know. And
then the
that's when the
exchange just happened to happen at the exact same time.
Right. And so that's how she survived. And this other guy, and I forgot what he said with him. He killed himself or something. He
killed himself. He couldn't take it anymore.
Couldn't take it or whatever. So she's been here alone.
Believe that it happened. And
right. So it's like, okay, she wants.
I think she offed him, but anyway.
Maybe, you never know. She decides to go with him, and so she's packing or whatever. And George Peppard's like, she's packing like these dresses and stuff. He's like, we got limited room. He's like, take jeans and t-shirts or something. Yeah. And so anyway, they take off, and it's like, they have the thing's like an RV kind of, but it's really small. It's quite small.
I don't know how they all fit in there. Like the back doesn't look that big, and they got a motorcycle back there too, right?
Right. Yeah, it's pretty small.
But anyway.
But they mentioned that they have enough water to take a shower once a week. So, anyway, so then they go to Salt Lake City where they find, basically organic materials are missing. Like tires are all gone. Everything rubber is gone. Every like they said they have, like the cars, all that stuff is,
Yep.
like the tires are gone,
The
and
seats are all the fabric from the seats.
right, and as are the skeletons. There's
Yep.
just skeletons.
They're
They're not
clean.
right, and so they're Tanner takes off on his motorbike, his dirt bike with the chick going to check out
Of
whatever.
course. He's the sexy one.
Right, and so uh, what's his name again?
Keegan.
Keegan, yeah, and they're working on getting fuel out of the tanks, the in-ground tanks, and they see this cockroach, which they try to step on, and it just nothing happens to it, and so then I'm going too long on this. Okay, they're killer cockroaches. Essentially, they start biting him, and Keegan, who runs into the car to try and escape, but then he gets swarmed by them, and basically, George Peppard tries to help him out. He runs out with a fire extinguisher, which for some reason is effective at stunning them, I guess. And he he's dead already, or he's essentially being killed. Right, he's too late. So George Peppard runs back in the thing. Meanwhile, they're running around on the motorbike, and they get attacked in like a department store or something, and they're trying to get out of there. They jump over from one building to a parking lot or whatever, and the George Peppard busts in with the missile system or something. And anyway, they get out and they run off, escaping the killer cockroaches, which he says. Denton literally says they're killer cockroaches. So,
Yeah.
In kind of a bad accent. Okay, so now they.
I mean, essentially, the movie is it's a bunch of set pieces going from place to place, picking up people or not or whatever, and then getting to the the final.
Yeah, I'm going to try and speed this up, or do you just want me to stop?
You want to? Maybe we should just pause.
I'll hit the high points.
We'll go back. You want to go through? Okay. I was going to say we can pause and I could go through some of the points that that is interesting about the first part, and then we can move on to the second.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So let me just give you some. Okay. So what do you remember what year this movie came out, Cam?
Came out in like 77.
77, correct. Is there any other interesting
Star Wars
movies that might have come out in 1977? Sorry, what was that?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Okay, so listen. So the executives are getting together and they're going like, okay, what's our tentpole movie for this summer? Ooh, Damnation Alley. We've got George Peppard, Jan-Michael Vincent. He's coming up. He's sexy. He's great. George Peppard's a great actor. Both of them are star. This is our tentpole movie. This movie is gonna rock. It's about the apocalypse. Everybody likes the apocalypse. That's the big thing. Because of nuclear war and all that stuff. It's based on this movie. This book by novel by Roger Zelensky. One of the big giants from the new wave of science fiction. This movie is going to kick ass. It's great. It can't lose, right? And meanwhile, the Fox also has this other, this weird Star Wars movie. It's like a space fantasy thing with wizards and swords, and it's by some guy named George Lucas. We never heard of him before, but whatever. This is going to be our movie, right? So that's what they think. Meanwhile, the Alan Ladd Jr., who is the executive in charge of the studio, he actually goes, you know what I think? He thinks to himself, I think the Star Wars movie is going to do really well, right? So he is he's kind of supporting the Star Wars movie. The Damnation Alley gets pushed back and back, and it doesn't come out in the summer for the tentpole. It eventually comes out in October, and it misses its window. And by then, of course, Star Wars, it's been out for 6 months or so almost, and it's the big new thing. Everyone's like, you know what? Nuclear war, that's boring and depressing. We like space fantasy now. And, if you remember Star Wars, it was in the theaters for over a year. People went and watched it 10, 20, 30, 50 times. Like, that's how much they loved it. And so Damnation Alley becomes this big, stinker that doesn't do anything for a bunch of reasons why it was pushed back, which we'll talk about as we go a little bit farther. So so it kind of missed its window. They all, they thought this is going to be the big thing. They spent tons of money marketing this thing and almost nothing for Star Wars. And then, of course, it flopped like you wouldn't believe. Here's some more. Okay, so the budget. So in the movie, they're doing... so principal photography is almost finished, and we haven't got to this part yet, but at the end, there's the big tsunami when the Earth goes back into its proper rotation or whatever. They had all this money set aside, and they're going to do all this with miniatures. We're going to do all this cool tsunami stuff. The director finds out just as principal photography is ending. Star Wars is going well, but they're like, hey, we need more money to do this industrial light and magic for the lasers and the ships flying around. So Alan Ladd Jr. goes and he takes a quarter of the budget out from Damnation Alley, and he secretly gives it to Star Wars, to George Lucas, to finish the movie. He doesn't tell the director of Damnation Alley, and the guy's almost finished principal photographer, and he's like, hey, so we got to start doing this. Oh no, we took away a bunch of... He's like, what? I can't do... You mean we're almost out of money? What the heck? Like, he couldn't believe it, right? Didn't bother to tell him, that kind of stuff. So that's when we go to when you go to Damnation Alley, you'll see that there's a lot of shots that are reused, right? So there's we haven't got this part, but the tidal wave that comes in later
Maybe
on.
we should just finish it.
Oh, okay, jeez, all right, okay.
I'll make it quick.
All right, go on.
they run into a kid played by Jackie Earle Haley. They run into some I don't know what you'd call them, hillbillies, rednecks, whatever, that are weird perverts who try to assault the French woman, Jackie Earle Haley, who was previously established to be a crack shot by throwing rocks. Disables one of them and then grabs a gun. Of course, it was stupidly they got captured in the first place. Anyway, takes it back. There's a shootout. They basically kill the hillbillies and they take off, heading out, getting eventually to Detroit, where this tsunami that.
Well, they have to fix the machine first, right? They got to go to a big, a big
that's true. They go to a junkyard.
Junkyard.
Yes, that's right. George Peppard explains that it was designed to be able to run on semi tractor parts. So they're going to try and scavenge parts. The things aren't very durable, as it turns out. But anyway, they do that, and then a big storm shows up, and then they got the mega tsunami thing where they then end up in the water somehow. I'm not sure where it came from. And then they come out of the water onto a shore, and then suddenly they get there's a radio station.
They have this radio thing there
in the middle of like in a park or something.
Well, they're in the shore of some sort of river or lake or something, and they're like, we're going to dry out. We're going to set up this radio antenna.
Is it theirs? Was it their radio?
We've never seen it before.
Okay. Well, anyway, they get on the radio.
I assume they carried it with them. I'm like, where else would they get it from? But
yeah. Well, they did have radios in the vehicle, but anyway, they get transmission, a live transmission. Before, they were all getting recorded transmissions talking about Albany, and they get a live transmission where they talk to a real person, supposedly in Albany, and then the kid
17 miles away.
Right. Tanner. Yes. Apparently they got moved really far in the mega tsunami, to Albany,
close to
or
Detroit?
maybe they went, maybe they got in the the Great Lakes, and they were pushed all the way over.
Is Detroit and Albany, New York, are not that close together, are they?
No,
no. I'm a little rusty on my geography.
But anyway, so then they ride the motorbike. The kid and Tanner go over there, and they see horses, and what looks like everything is like you would remember it.
Idyllic pastoral.
Right, and the skies are clear now, black to blue skies, and the sun is shining, and they see horses in the field, and then a bunch of people run out of their homes that seem to be untouched by any of the catastrophes, and they hug them, and the movie ends.
It's one of the big complaints of the movie is the tonal shift at the end. All of a sudden, it's supposed to be a bleak adventure, and this tonal shift, and people are like, what?
Happy ending.
And but the there was not a happy ending in the book, but the executives are like, oh yeah, we can't be having a depressing ending. We got to have a happy ending. So they cram that in at the end.
Okay, so there you go. You could talk all about your production quirks.
Oh, yeah. So the tidal wave at the end of the movie, that was taken from 1974 earthquake movie. Um, because they didn't have any money at the end, so they're throwing this all together, right? So you know the explosions at the beginning of the movie where the you see the explosions inside the missile base where it's all blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some of those explosions are taken from this war movie from 1965, which is called Operation Crossover, right? So, in guess who's in that movie?
George Peppard.
Yes. So you have a situation where he is watching an explosion that he was a part of in the movie.
It would have been funnier if he was the general burning
He
to death.
killed himself. Yeah, it would be funny. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we should go. Yeah. So there's the scene. Oh, I think I should talk about. Okay, so General Landis, is that his name? Landers. Do you know who Murray Hamilton is?
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, he's a great character actor, well known to be a great actor and stuff, right? So he gets on, they bring him in and they go, he's got these rousing speeches and he's got all this sort of, character building at the beginning because they're all, they're like, well, we got to set the tone, it's got to make it serious. Because if you notice that when you watch the movie, they're all sitting there and then everyone's sitting there and there's nothing happens, right? Like, is there some sort of buildup to the Soviets? Are the Soviet president or premier and the president of the U.S. saying nasty things about each other? Yeah, Hamilton, he's the mayor from Jaws, Murray Hamilton. Yes, exactly. It's all of a sudden it's like, and they just look at the map and it's like, oh, the Soviets are nuking us. Okay, nuke them back, right? Like there's. So they have Murray Hamilton, they have him do all this buildup and stuff. But then when they release the movie, the executives are like, you know what? We got to get to the action fast. We can't have all this. So they cut all that stuff out. And it's like, oh, nuclear war. Okay, time to go. Let's, drive along our thing. So they cut all this good stuff out. So he actually barely says a word. I mean, the most you see him is at the end where he's kind of drunk and looking disheveled in the command center, right? So you know nothing about his character. You don't get anything out of it. They cut all that stuff out. Oh, embarrassing. Now, how about the Scorpions? Did you enjoy the Scorpions?
Not particularly, but as it turns out, it was a bit of a highlight.
What? It was the worst CG I've ever saw. It was horrible. Okay, so they spent a fortune building these life-size, like to scale, animatronic robot scorpions, right? And then they brought them to the desert to shoot this stuff, and they completely failed in the heat. So they're like, oh, what are we going to do? So they took real scorpions, put them on, miniature sets and had them moving around and tried to put it all in afterwards. Watch the movie. You can tell, like, the scorpions are the worst, fakest thing you've ever seen. Like, it's just like, what's going on? And the color doesn't match. It's all over the place. It's a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah,
I thought it was. What is going on? Right? It looks horrible. Okay. Should we talk about the cockroaches?
Sure.
Okay. So they brought in 300 Madagascar hissing cockroaches for this, right? Okay. So first they were like paranoid that the cockroaches might escape and
infest Salt Lake City,
Salt Lake City, and that wherever they were shooting. Arizona or wherever, right? So they hired an entomologist and he had to check every one of these 300 cockroaches to make sure they were all male and that they couldn't reproduce. So they spent, money on that. And then the next thing, they go and they use these cockroaches and the director's like, 300 cockroaches, that's not enough. It's supposed to be a swarm. It's got to be, it's supposed to look like thousands of them. I mean, it doesn't look very cool. This is supposed to be a cool movie. It doesn't look good. So what they did was they took, when he's spraying the car, those are all fake plastic cockroaches that they glued onto the car. And what they did was they took pieces of carpet and they glued all these cockroaches on it. They tied ropes to them and they dragged them through the scene, right? So when Jan-Michael Vincent is driving on his bike and he's going kind of through this, the basement or garage or something like that, you see these, these masses moving. They don't look very realistic. I mean, it looks pretty lame. It looks like exactly like they're dragging a bunch of fake cockroaches on a piece of carpet. So, yeah, so that didn't work out very well either. It's nothing but problem after problem. The laser skies, they weren't supposed to be that way, right? But then the executives are like, oh, blue skies don't look very sci-fi-y, put some make them glow like radiation. Let's say,
put some bad filters on there.
Yeah, something like a radiation aurora borealis type thing, right? So they're like, what? So they go and they have to hand paint and color every scene and every thing. This is the main reason why the movie was delayed by like 10 months from being ready. They had to go and hand paint at a fortune, cost of a fortune, all these things, and that's what pushed it back to October. 10-month delay from that. Okay, what's next? Do you want to talk about the actors?
Why don't you start?
You want to hear about the actors?
Sure.
Okay, so originally for Jan-Michael Vincent's part, they wanted Steve McQueen. They're like, who's the coolest guy to run our tentpole movie at the time? Steve McQueen is the coolest guy.
Would he be a little older at that point?
Yeah, but he's super cool and he likes motorcycles and he's going to be riding on a lot. He's perfect. And apparently he was interested, but he came back and he wanted $2 million to do the film, plus profit sharing from the movie because they thought it was going to be a big hit. And he wanted complete creative control over the movie. Well, Fox said, there's no way we could pay you $2 million. Like, that's just outrageous. And so they said no, and they went to Jan-Michael Vincent. Now, Jan-Michael Vincent, he got $1 million for it. So
really?
Yeah, he got $1 million. This is what pushed him above like that. That really pushed his career. We start.
That was a lot for that time.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot for him. And it was, and he did great. But it's half of what they were going to spend on Steve McQueen, plus all that profit sharing and all that other stuff, right? Remember, they're thinking they're thinking this movie's going to be a huge hit. It's perfect. It's got these big names. It's got everybody loves nuclear war. It's going to be awesome. I think they're going to make a fortune on this movie, right? So then George Peppard, the person who was supposed to play George Peppard's part, another huge star at the time, Nick Nolte, right? So they're like, oh, Nick Nolte. So Nick Nolte seems interested too, but he goes in to meet with the studio exec and the director, and they think they're going to talk about the part. Maybe he's going to read for it or something, but he ends up taking half an hour to tell them why their movie sucks, how the dialogue is stupid and this is dumb and this doesn't make any sense. And then after that gets up and walks out.
Turns out Nick Nolte can sometimes be right.
Out Nick Nolte was completely correct. That way the movie was garbage. And so they're like, oh, I don't know. Let's get George Peppard. Yeah. So I mean, it's just the hilarity after another. So what did you think about the relationship between Jan-Michael Vincent, Tanner, and George Peppard? What do you think they're between the characters? What was their relationship like? What did you think it was?
Well, they didn't like it. Well, Denton had a problem with them that he was challenged on it. Yeah, and he was challenged on it at one point, and he kind of said, "Oh, I don't have a problem with them." So unresolved, I guess.
But he seemed like he kind of did, right?
Well, yeah, he said it. I mean, he tried to. Yeah, he was always kind of suspicious of him. I mean, he also like when the chick showed up. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I could trust him around her.
Yeah.
So
that was okay. Yeah. But even at the end of the movie, what happens at the end of the movie? He says, Peppard, he's like, oh, we're 17 miles away, and Tanner jumps on the bike with a kid and takes off, and Peppard's like, no, you stay here. Don't you go anywhere. We go together. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Like he was still mad at him and that kind of stuff. Well, okay. So throughout the movie, there's some tension between those two characters. Would you agree with that, right?
Yes.
That makes sense? Okay. Yes. Well, George Peppard wasn't really acting about that tension
He's just like, I hate this guy.
During the filming. He did not like Jan-Michael Vincent. So George Peppard is an old school type guy, right? He believes in preparation and hard work and all that stuff, right? Professionalism. Well, Jan-Michael Vincent is the new type of actor. He's usually late for set. He sometimes shows up intoxicated, that kind of thing. And then there's this one incident that really sort of ended, pushed it over the edge, I think, for Peppard. They're when they go to the desert for filming in Arizona. Jan-Michael Vincent goes out and hangs out with some of the locals, and he I don't know if he insulted them or they were just being nice to him, but anyway, he takes peyote and then he vanishes in the desert for 3 days. The production on the whole thing stops, and the whole crew was out searching the desert for Jan-Michael Vincent. They finally find him 3 days later, and he's still high. And they bring him in, and he's still zonked out a bit. And they're already so he pushes them back, costs thousands of dollars in shooting, pushes them back a couple days. And I think this is what Peppard is just like, oh, this guy, disrespect. And, from then on, he really, really doesn't like it. And you can see in some of the scenes that Peppard is, he's in this little box in this machine being filmed all day. And you can just see he's got this look on his face. He does not want to be there. He wants to be anywhere else. And he hates this guy. Like, it's just, hilarity. Yeah, there's them. I think this was shot probably later because he looks a little. I think they did the Arizona stuff later. There's the Scorpions. I should keep going. There's the Landmaster. Oh, let's talk a little about the Landmaster. What do you think about the Landmaster, Cam? Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's okay.
So the Landmaster was more of a character and did better afterwards than the other actors. It cost them $350K to build it. Well, in today's dollars, that would be about $1.7 million now. It's like 10 tons. It is, a beast. It's got a huge motor in it. But you notice, it looks pretty cool on the outside and everything. But you notice the inside when they're punching in the coordinates to go to here, punch in to follow the thing. It's like a Texas Instrument calculator glued to the dashboard. Mm. There's some like a fish sonar thing is their radar and stuff. It's kind of cheesy inside, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. And it's a real life vehicle. It was used in movies afterwards.
Yeah,
it actually moves. It's got this, like I said, huge engine. They apparently they did a 25-foot jump in it at 55 miles an hour, and it was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. Like, it is a beast. It went on to do, you see it. I have a picture later. It's at a museum or something. It went on to be in a TV series, Get a Life, Quiet Riot, music video. Its career seemed to do pretty good after the show. So it was kind of like a character. But yeah, 1.7 million in today's dollars for that thing. Like, that is not cheap.
No.
What else? Oh yeah, sorry. I was talking about that. I forgot. So apparently Peppard and Jan-Michael Vincent refused to talk to each other unless they were filming. They would not speak. They hated each other. Yeah. So here it is, moving out the original out the missile base. You can see the skies there. That's pretty good. Yeah. Here they are driving the thing. This is earlier in the movie. Yeah. That's after what's his name gets killed. They're all in one vehicle. Yeah. Oh, this is look, there's Las Vegas. What do you think, Cam? Is that last time you were there? That's pretty much what it looked like.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, pretty close enough. Yeah, seriously. Oh, did I get a good? I don't know if I got a good. Oh, I didn't get a good picture of the cockroaches. Yeah, there's the kid. Yeah, another shot there. All right, what else? Oh, I was talking about Roger Zelensky, right? So, have you read Damnation Alley? You haven't read by Zelensky?
No.
I haven't read it either. Anyway, they don't build them like that anymore. So Zelensky's original story is about this guy, Hell Tanner. He's a biker, a murderer, and a rapist. And after a nuclear war, he is said, hey, if you do this job for us, we'll write off all your crimes. He rides a motorcycle across country to deliver this vaccine cure for a plague, and he's not a nice guy. And so the studio is like, Zelensky wrote, helped write the script and go over it originally. And, he wrote stuff that was very faithful to the book, right? So after the movie comes out, Zelensky's like, well, I guess I should see this movie that they made a book about. He goes into the theater and he goes, what the hell have they done to my book? Hated it. And, couldn't believe what they did to his story. So yeah, he was not very happy.
Hope he didn't have to pay for that ticket.
Yeah. He did. He did have to pay for it. Yeah. What else? Oh, the title. So they're like, oh, Damnation Alley. Maybe we want to. They were just somewhat before release. They're like, you know what? This is supposed to be like the title is too biblical. Maybe we should change the name. We want it to be, it's a fun science fiction like travel story. That's what it's about, traveling across the wasteland. So they changed the title to Survivor Run. And then just before the end of just before the movie's released, they go back and they say, listen, maybe we shouldn't do that because that'll alienate all the people who like Zelensky's book and are going to see it because of that. So let's change it back to Damnation Alley. And they do. But it's so late that, after the movie's released, you can, in certain countries, you still see all the posters and everything all say Survivor Run instead of Damnation Alley. And even after the movie came out, when it went onto the network television stuff, you can see in TV guides apparently where it would still be called Survivor Run instead of Damnation Alley. Like it was that confused and people did not get it, right? I think we talked about the ending, which is, the novel is very bleak, but this is like a happy ending. It's a huge tonal shift, right? All of a sudden, Albany's there and Albany's perfect. How did Albany survive a nuclear war? Like Fallout and all that stuff? Like,
well, and two pole shifts.
Yeah. Apparently. And it's just, everything's fine. And every happy joy. Like it's just jarring. People are like, what? How did Albany survive anyway?
Well, clearly Albany is in a safe zone.
Yeah. Something. It's a nuclear weapons free zone. There you go. They used to have those all the time when we were growing up. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, mistake after mistake. They decided they wanted a new audio format for this. So, for the movie Earthquake, which was like 3 years before, very popular, they had this, they put these speakers on the ground that would sort of shake the building a little bit so it would feel like an earthquake. So they go, we need something cool. We're going to have this surround 360 sound, we're going to call it. And it's going to be like, you're going to hear the cockroaches chirping at you all around you. It's going to be real scary. It'll be awesome. Well, guess what? This thing was super expensive. The vast majority, except only a handful of theaters had it. So most people didn't experience the movie in the way that the, director producers, wanted them to. What else? Oh, so have you ever seen the movie with Burt Reynolds called Hooper? 1978?
I remember it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
So it's about some stuntmen, right? And and Jan-Michael Vincent is in it. Burt Reynolds. At this time, Damnation Alley was such a joke that they purposely put in the movie. There's this rocket car jump that the stuntmen have to do, and they specifically refer to the stunt as Damnation Alley. Oh, we're gonna do the Damnation Alley, and it's a joke, picking on the movie because it's so it bombed so badly. Even Hollywood is making fun of the movie. Brutal. And so their one last attempt was they tried to pair it with an animated feature called Wizards that wasn't doing very well. So it's like, hey, see two movies instead of one. Maybe the fantasy crowds will come and see this sci-fi movie if we put this animated movie Wizards, which apparently, like I said, it wasn't doing well. Anyway, it failed and it didn't do well anyway. So that's just, did I miss anything? This is all the various mistakes that happen in the.
So it was a huge cluster.
It's a big cluster. Unbelievable what happens. There's a good shot of the sky. And this is the final scene. Yeah, you can see they got this thing set up. It was sold internationally as Survival Run in Sendero Infernal in Argentina. Yeah. They just they didn't get that. It was released in Jan for September 10th before U.S. release in October 1977. No, I didn't know that part. Yeah, it's quite the mess. And here is the big star of the show. The Landmaster, looking pretty cool there. That's in a museum or something. It was pretty cool. But that is all the various problems with the movie.
So it wasn't a good movie at all, and I feel angry for having watched it.
All right, well, you picked it. Now, why didn't you like it? Why didn't you like it? What part? I know. I mean, okay, you go first. I'll tell you my problems.
Well, actually, going into it, I was surprised to see the prelude, where they were, in the missile silo and all that. I didn't expect that. I thought this was a movie that started out post-apocalyptic. So that kind of took me by surprise. I didn't dislike that. Actually, I liked it a little bit more. And then it just kind of turned into this extremely simplistic plot, and with no character development, just running into random people and situations, and then ending with no meaning. I mean, it was just, this is a movie that had no reason to exist.
No, this is not the Zardoff review. I'm going to agree with you, Cam. That's the it's just a bunch of go to this place, go to that place, and pick up a girl, pick up a little kid, and they just for being, I don't know, maybe is the Air Force a bunch of slackers? I mean, Denton's carrying his sidearm all the time, but they just every time they're like, oh, it's Salt Lake City. What should we do? Everybody gets out. They leave the doors open. Everybody just wanders off on their own. I'm like, how about stick together? Everybody carry weapons. Like, how do you have you not learned anything? Killer cockroaches?
Well, I mean,
the hillbillies jump them.
With the hillbillies, it's like they just walked in there.
Yeah,
it wasn't like maybe pull out your gun. I mean,
they hear the scream and they run in, and of course they get. Yeah, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a military guy. He's supposed to, know something, I think, Yeah, it was like, we're going to go from place to place. We won't take any precautions, whatever. No build up to the nuclear exchange. And, maybe that you don't need that because they're just military guys. They don't know what's going on. But you could have thrown in a couple of newsreels, U.S. president says this, or U.S. Soviet premier says that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Somebody watching TV, the news.
Right, they showed that, and it really didn't matter at all. They could have just started out post-apocalyptic saying, oh, it was with two screens worth of one screen worth of words that said, oh, and this year a nuclear exchange happened. I mean, it had no purpose for being in there. I mean, other than I guess to say, oh, I don't like him. Denton saying he doesn't like him. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been interested to hear Murray Hamilton's speech, that would have been probably pretty good. I mean, they hired the guy, paid him this money, and then they cut all his crap out. I'm like, poor guy. The just, and like I said, the effects were just, they had plans. Oh, this is awesome. 300 cockroaches. Wait, that's not enough.
Okay. All the stuff you were talking about was, oh, well, they had all these aspirations for it, but the plot sucked. It wasn't, it's not, I mean, it didn't matter. Let's say all those things went great. It would still have sucked.
Well, it would have been a little bit better in that it wouldn't have been so cheesy looking. Right. But you're right. I mean, the plot was very basic, just we're going to drive from point A to point B. We're going to stop at points, C, D, and E, and F along the way.
Yeah.
We're going to get out, do something stupid.
Or it wasn't compelling at all in any way.
And then just pick up some people and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It was just very, very basic.
And even we're going to go to Albany. Why? Well, because that's where we got a radio message from.
Yeah, but how do you know there's anything there? How did Albany survive? Why Albany and not else? Like,
Right. It's like maybe work on a communication system that could reach there. Figure out a way to get a transmission through so you can try and talk to somebody. No, we're going to take an extremely dangerous trip across the. I mean, on the other hand, I
but we
guess when
got
the
this
place
cool machine. Like, come on.
yeah, when the place blew up, it was like okay,
Yeah, you
but
got to
at
leave
that,
then. But
yeah, I don't know. It had no rhyme or reason. It was just, it
and
was a waste of film.
They thought this film was going to be awesome, and it's their big tent. Fox thought it was going to be their big tentpole movie of the summer. Everyone's going to want to see this. It'll be cool, awesome. We got these great actors, and they did. We got this cool machine. It's post-apocalyptic nuclear, where everyone loves that. I mean, and even though they lost Steve McQueen and Nick Nolte, Peppard and Jan-Michael Vincent are still big names, right? Like they're not really, it's not like Star Wars. Mark who? Who's that guy? Like Harrison who? So yeah. Zardoff lost. We did Damnation Alley, man. It's on the thing. Yeah, awesome. So I just Jeff. It's a bit pretty weak, but this would be like when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh wow, this is gonna be really cool. Drive this machine across. I can just imagine pulling my father to this movie or something like that, and him just sitting there and trying not to fall asleep. Something oh my god, what's going on? This is so stupid. And my father was an English teacher, so he knows a little bit about how things should sort of be written, and
this ain't it.
It's like, this isn't well written. He kind of has that. So anyway, didn't like it.
No.
Okay. Damnation Alley or Megaforce? Which is better?
Well,
come on, it's an easy question.
I hated both of them.
Yeah, but which one's better?
Well, I think Damnation Alley is better.
Really? No, Megaforce. Way cooler. I mean, come on.
It was just so.
They should remake
cheesy and stupid. Awesome. I mean,
come on, the flying motorcycles with the skin tight bodysuits.
Yeah, I know.
His hair ripping in the breeze, and his feathered.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah,
with the.
Well, I do like Barry Bostwick fairly well, but I also like George Peppard though. I don't like
George Peppard is good. No, I'm not a big fan of Jan-Michael Vincent. He's fine, but he's just sort of like in that mold of all those guys. But after this, Airwolf is after this, and that is really big.
I never watched Airwolf. I remember.
Oh, I did. Oh, I loved Airwolf. It's so cool. Yeah, but they just flew around blowing the shit up. But hey, that's all right. Oh, that and Blue Thunder. But Blue Thunder was.
I like Blue Thunder. That was cool.
Oh, really? Yeah, I kind of see them as the same. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so we both agree that the movie was not well written. Yeah, I mean, and just the effects were just like, what is going on? And this was supposed to be their tentpole movie. Can you believe that? Like they thought, but they ripped the budget apart. Yeah, I think I got everything. Yeah, all right. It's a comedy of errors, I would say. Yeah. All right. Did you have anything more? I guess we'll watch. Maybe should we do Zardoff next time? No, Jeff is very disappointed, and it was so close.
Well, I've already seen Zardoz, and I didn't like it.
Didn't like it?
It's weirder. I mean, it's way weirder.
We should keep up with the Cam doesn't like movies. We should change the name of the show.
Great. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, maybe we'll give you a break. Maybe we'll put Zardoff up against something else to at least give you a chance.
Yeah, at least an option.
Yeah. Cam picked this one, so
okay.
On him. All right. Okay, so I think we're pretty much over the show, but we were supposed to do this. We got to do our demo here. We were supposed to do that.
We got so excited
before.
Yeah, this is way better. This ad is way better.
Yeah, let's do. Is there something coming up, Cam, that we should know about?
Yeah, I'll roll the tape.
What's okay? Yeah, okay, roll the tape. Yeah, let me just. All right, here it is. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Peter Jurczyk. I played Ambassador Lando Molare on Babylon 5. Please join me, will you? On Science Fiction Snob on Wednesday, January 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern. You moon-faced assassins of joy, I will do a live, exclusive interview for you. Try to be there, yes?
Yes, Cam is my moon-faced assassin of joy.
I am indeed. Big show coming up this Wednesday.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Well, it's on the Sci-Fi Snob channel, simulcast on Tennessee Tabletop Tavern and Sci-Fi for Me TV.
But don't watch it there. Watch it here because I want to gather all the subs and glory to myself. So
yes,
everyone come here.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern on this Wednesday in 3 days. It'll all be over. It'll all be over in 3 days.
Maybe I should be doing something. Maybe I should be preparing for this.
Probably a good idea because Mr. Jurczyk has generously volunteered his time for our humble show, and I greatly appreciate that. As we
all do, yes, I do too. Don't leave me out.
Right. Yeah, I think everyone does. And Madman here was instrumental in getting this set up. Q2Cast TV in the chat.
And yes, he was very. It's all him actually. To be honest, instrumental. Yeah. I mean, he did all of it. He knew the guy who knew the guy.
Right.
So we didn't do nothing.
But you're going to be hosting. Jason's going to be kind of heading up the interview to start, and then we're going to have Madman and Death Angel Shadow are going to be doing some questions as well. And I'm going to kind of be trying to manage things in the background with the live chat and such, and bringing in any
and moderating.
Questions.
Yeah. Breaking up any fights.
Right. I'm going to ban the hell out of people.
Bring forward any good questions that come out of chat that might be germane to whatever's being discussed at the time, right?
Right.
That kind of thing. Yeah,
that'll be good.
I'll just be sit back, relaxing, lording over everyone, and
look at my big channel. Look at me
taking all the glory and just going. I did all this. I'm just doing nothing.
But yes, I want to. I was just gonna say, I really, honestly, not again. I really do appreciate Peter Jurczyk volunteering to do this. It's very.
We all
nice.
do. We all do. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
The super chat option. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to look into it. I think it might have something to do with my AdSense. I'm not sure why it would matter with AdSense, but I'm going to sort that out later tonight or tomorrow. I got to get that sorted out. And what else? So the questions are going to be sort of three main areas that we're kind of asking. Jason's going to be looking at his career in general, like his non-Babylon 5 stuff. Madman will
Which
be
is
doing
expensive.
It's extensive. Tron. He was Crom on Tron. He did 20 something episodes as a snitch on Hill Street Blues, was it? What was it? Sid the Snitch on Hill Street Blues. So he's going to be talking a little bit about that. Madman's going to focus on the Babylon 5 stuff, questions about that, and Jeff is collecting all the questions from the viewers. Now, for example, that doesn't mean, Dave sent us a bunch of questions which are all Babylon 5 questions. So those would go into the Babylon 5 section. So Jeff is kind of handling, some of the questions that might be, I'm not going to say random, but maybe a little bit more of, outside of what the usual Babylon 5 stuff would be. But Jeff might ask might answer the questions that, that Madman didn't get to ask, or that were, more outside the main, something like that. So there's going to be a little crossover, but that's generally how things are going to go. So yeah, come in, ask questions if you have a good question. Throw it into the chat or throw it in earlier. We prefer to be earlier so we can sort of sort through them and stuff. But hey, I can't make you do nothing, right? I'm not your boss, not your mom. Yeah, that's the plan. Now, how long is the show going to go, Cam?
Well, as much as 2 hours, I think, or who knows if our guest is having a great time, we'll let him go.
Yeah, we're gonna. He seems keen to do whatever. Yeah, so he might be a while. The show might go on for a while. Yeah, so we're hoping people will show up. We're advertising as much as possible. If you want to push it out to your friends and on X or Facebook or wherever you can, we would appreciate that. We've got some shorts going up. If you that we've got on my channel, Jeff on his channel, Jason on his channel, all over. So Madman on his channel. If you want to push those shorts out or anything you can do, tell your friends. We'd appreciate it. We'd greatly appreciate it. I think it's going to be a great show. I think I talked to Peter last week. We did a little test run to make sure everything was working out fine, and he seems like a great guy and very open and free to talk to us. We're very relaxed. I don't think he's 75. I don't think he cares about worried about if I say something like this about this, then I won't get a job. He doesn't care about that. So I think he's going to be pretty open and free to us, and hopefully tell us some stories about things that happened. Good stuff that maybe no one's ever heard before. Maybe it's not been in interviews before. So we'll see what happens.
That's right.
We're open. But yeah, he seems like I said, he seems a pretty nice guy. Yeah. What else? Did I miss anything? I don't think so.
No, I think that's the big news.
What are you going to do? We're going to do, let's do, before we sign off, let's talk a little bit about our affiliates. Check out our affiliates to the channel. Other people who sort of hang out and have their own channel. Nerd at Night has a channel. Check him out. You find all the info there. You can, that'll, yeah. And of course, the Bad News Barge, which Cam is a part of. Cam the Trader, cheating on me. He does that every Sunday before the show.
Maybe I should
Madman Cafe.
Maybe I should start a bidding war.
Bidding war. Madman Cafe. Too slow. Madman Cafe, which is not. He's not having it. He usually has it on Monday. He's not having it tomorrow. He's stopping. He's not doing a show because he's doing a show on Tuesday, and I'm going to be on it. He's going to talk about Star Trek Academy season 3. Which I thought was better than everyone. Most people seem to think it sucked horribly, but I say it's better than episode 2. Sorry, I said season 3, episode 3. Everyone seems to think it was worse than the other. I think it was better than episode 2 and episode 1. Now that's not saying much, and that doesn't mean I liked it, but I thought it was a little bit better at least. But we're going to talk about it. But there are some pretty crazy things going on in that show. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some good laughs out of that because it was just, yeah. And of course, this show, the Babylon 5 show on Wednesdays, which is canceled for this Wednesday because we're having the Peter Jurassic interview. And then, of course, Top Lofty Lounge next week, which I don't know what we're going to do yet. I've got to figure it out. I've kind of been focused on this interview and trying to make it work. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, dig a little bit and figure something out. Take some time. Yeah. Did I miss anything, Cam? We got covered everything.
The
interview is the big thing, right? Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. I don't know the chat. I'm sure the chat will tell me. You recommend me having a spare keyboard ready? Oh, I hope I don't need that. Yeah. Your keyboard broke. Yeah. All right. Okay, so Jeff was putting out while I was talking. I should have been doing this. Jeff was putting out the stuff here. Outpost Nerds channel, Madman's channel, and of course Jason's channel, Sci-Fi for Me TV, and the Bad News Bards, which is on directly before this show on Sundays for 2 hours. Right, Cam? You guys start at 7 my time, right?
Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Zaid Comics, yes. Is that Cam? Yes. Zaid, I noticed you were a new
Hey,
subscriber.
it's Phil.
Thanks for subscribing. Good
Welcome,
to see you.
Phil. It is
welcome.
me.
Oh, it is me. Yeah. Oh, you know
Yeah.
this person in real life? Oh, right on. Yeah, good to see you. He subscribed a couple days ago. He's one of our new subscribers. So, yeah, welcome.
Right
and
on.
it is Cam. Yes, in all his glory. Yes. Is Cam going to have some cool questions for Peter? Haha. I don't know. Cam, are you going to?
No, I don't have any tool questions planned, but
no cool tool questions. Yeah, the I've been looking at the you guys are putting in some pretty good questions. I'm gonna have trouble thinking of better ones. I can't really tool questions. Oh, I thought you said cool questions. I read that wrong. We could ask him, I guess. I don't know if he knows anything about the tool. I think he likes the Chicago Bears. Him and Jeff were talking about the Bears and the Cubs and stuff, so I'm not, so maybe, yeah. All right, that's it. Oh, jokes. I almost forgot the jokes. I just want to make sure we do the jokes last, so cover everything. I got some good ones. Okay, are you ready, Cam?
Sure.
Now all these jokes are apocalypse related, of course. Did I tell you, Ken, that I met a horse who keeps talking about the apocalypse? He told me the end is nigh. Sorry, nay.
Oh, blew it. Totally blew it.
Oh,
Let's erase that.
That's the first one. That's the warm-up.
Okay. All right.
How many horsemen of the apocalypse does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know. How many horsemen of the apocalypse does it take to change a light bulb?
3, because war never changes.
Okay, next. Yeah.
All right, just a second here. Cam, what is the sexiest thing about the apocalypse?
I don't know. What is the sexiest thing about the apocalypse?
Demise. Get it? Demise.
These are really bad, even for.
Get it? No, this is pretty good. That was pretty good.
You got.
I blew the punchline. Yeah, well,
Yeah. Okay, you got one more.
One more. I got one more. Now this one is a special one. This is for Jeff because Jeff, in honor of his living in Tennessee and being a hillbilly. This is in honor of him. What do you call a redneck apocalypse?
I don't know. What do you call a redneck apocalypse?
Get it done.
Okay, I'm going to say that's the best.
That's why I said it for the last.
Okay.
I thought it was the best.
Okay, mildly humorous. Sure.
Get it? Get it done. That's for you, Jeff.
I just want to mention about Zaid Comics.
Okay, and that's in the show.
No.
God,
I'm going to take this chance. Phil Diaz is the gentleman behind Zaid Comics, along with his brother, and they have put out a number of excellent comics. But they have a show on Thursday night at, I'm not sure the time if it's exactly the same, but anyway, it rotates between 4 different channels. Per Berg, Narwhal, otherwise known as Narwhal, Rini,
Narwhal, yeah.
Rini draws, and Jake, Hyper Wizard. So they kind of go between all of them. Did you guys change the name of the show? I only saw part of the last one on Thursday. It used to be called Creative Block, and maybe I think they changed the name of it. Anyway, check out their channel, all their channels, if you want to watch some good stuff. They basically, these creators, they get together and they talk about various parts of the creative process. And then they have the second part that is nonsense.
Wait a sec. Why haven't we had Zaid Comics on this channel?
I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was interested in this.
Are you holding out on me? What?
No.
We like to occasionally have that. And listen, I think I have one of Narwhal's books. I kind of like his.
He's got a new campaign out.
His style. I kind of like the style, and I think I got the first book. I like the style on it. Like, it was very unusual, different. And I didn't really like it at first, but then I'm like, oh, you know what? It's got a little bit of, I kind of like it. It's kind of growing on me. So, you still call it Creative Block. Yeah. So how come we don't get him on the show?
Okay, well, here's your invitation,
Jeez,
Phil. We could talk about it.
Come on, Cam, get to work. Do something.
All right.
Jeez.
I'm not
He's holding out on me. First, he's cheating on me with Jeff. Now he's holding out on me on good guests. What is going on? Oh, look. See, look. Jeff is already trying to steal him.
I know. Well,
don't push it to tabletop. No,
Death
he's not.
Angel Shadow. Death Angel Shadow is the booking guy. He brings in the guests.
He brings in the guests, man. He's really good at it. Yeah, I gotta say, yeah, he's good at that. Knows people. All right, okay, and that's it for the show. We got some work to do before Wednesday. Hopefully, everyone will be here Wednesday. We will have a kick-ass show, the best ever. And if not, I will blame Cam. It's his fault if it doesn't work. All right, everybody. Yeah, well, hey, Zaid, we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you offline. I think I will jump. We're a little early. I'll jump into the Discord just for general hanging out a little bit. So if you want to jump into the Discord, we'll see you there. And that's it for the show. Good night, everybody. See you on Wednesday.
Good night. Thanks for coming.